Alright guys, welcome back to the third match here with Jeskai Tempo. Yeah, let's go ahead and keep. This has a nice curve here. We have some interaction on turn 1. We have some digging as well if we need to, depending on the matchup. And our opponent mulligan to 6. They scry to the bottom. Scalding Tarn could be a good matchup. Could be Storm. Could also be Storm. I cannot remove that possibility. But Scalding Tarn generally indicates to me that this is some sort of Jeskai deck. Just Scalding Tarn into Island into Serum Visions. It could be a whole bunch of things, but this is my take on it. Let's go ahead and use this actually in case they're a Blood Moon deck like Blue Moon. We can go ahead and fetch a basic Plains with the Flooded Strand. Generally, you do want to hit land drops and blue mirrors. We're not quite sure what we're playing against, though, so I'm just going to go ahead and sequence it like that. Spire Bluff. Okay, so again, still could be Storm. Pyromancer's Ascension. Alright, I don't think they play Blood Moon. It could be a thing in the Ice deck. But they're definitely a Blood Moon deck. Definitely a Lightning Bolt deck, which makes Spell Queller a bit worse. I think I can go ahead and bottom both of these. I probably want to search for a Path to Exile as soon as possible. Now, this could be just traditional Storm with the Pyromancer, but I find that unlikely. So I'm going to go ahead and go top here. And I'm hoping I don't get Blood Moon here, but again, I find it unlikely that I will get Blood Moon. Thought Scour, Bedlam Reveler, yeah, so this is like just that Jeskai Ascension, or could be Blue-Red Ascension control deck. Could be a Manamorphose coming here. Noxious Revival, Serum Visions, sure. So we could bounce the Pyromancer's Ascension with Cryptic Command down the road. And my opponent, what did they? Oh wow, and they had another Noxious Revival in their hand. That's pretty good. What did they target again? Targeting Serum Visions. So they're going to draw Serum, now they're going to draw 2 Serum Visions. So basically our opponent's just going off here. Don't think they have like a combo kill. Don't think they have Grape Shot in their deck or anything like that. Could be mistaken. I think resetting this Pyromancer's Ascension is probably going to be a good idea. So they'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 instant sorceries in the yard, which means Reveler costs 3 mana. So it's possible we're going to get hit with a Reveler as early as next turn. And unfortunately, Spell Queller cannot counter that. Our opponent scried 1 to the bottom, 1 to the top. I'll go ahead and play this land out in case I need to Logic Knot something. Alright, I forgot we set Logic Knot on top. That means it doesn't matter about the Spell Queller. Although our opponent could be playing Counter Magic. Red. Red, yeah. Double Manamorphose. I don't think there's anything I can reasonably do to stop this without, like... Yeah, I'm really not sure. Our opponent's just going to gain a ton of value here. If we can counter a Bedlam Reveler, we might be in okay shape. But at this point, like... Opponent has 6 cards in hand. Do they even want to play a Bedlam Reveler? They could have, like, a thing in the ice. Alright, another Manamorphose, yeah. It's on my opponent to play a threat here. Obviously, if it was just like a single Manamorphose, we'd be having a different story here, because then I would Spell Queller it and they wouldn't have all this mana. But right now, this is, again, really not looking great for us. Seeing all this happen does not make me a happy camper. Our opponent's fetching. The best we can hope for is our opponent gets a little bit greedy and we can burn him out of the game. And I wonder if they play any counter magic in their main. Would be interesting to know. Again, countering the cantrips is probably a way to lose. Let's go ahead and counter like the action spells, what they find off the cantrips. Another Metamorphose, maybe? Another Ascension. Huh. We could counter that. That could get out of hand, right? They have 5 mana at their disposal, so we can go ahead and do this for 6, I guess. Just go ahead and exile our whole yard. X equals 6. Hope we don't get remanded. Alright. Opponent is going to use up the rest of their mana here. Draw their whole deck. I wonder if they gotta have Thing in the Ice here, right? I gotta imagine that that's their win condition. I guess Lightning Bolt is a win condition, right? What am I talking about? Like Pyromancer's Ascension, just like, yep, that's 6 damage. Got me for 6. Do you have another one? Oh, jeez. You could have like Noxious Revival, get back, another Bolt, draw it with one of their draw spells, and then we are royally screwed. Can we even afford to shock ourselves to bounce this Pyromancer Ascension? If we go to 2, we're dead to a Lightning Bolt. But then again, we're dead to a Lightning Bolt anyways. So I'd rather just set that back. Try to regain some tempo here. Do they have a counterspell? Wow, they have a Remand. That's insane. I guess Remand, copying Remand doesn't really do anything, right? I'm going to let my opponent show me that they have the kill here. Can Noxious Revival, Lightning Bolt. Yeah, there you go. There you go. You got it. Oh man, we're running into some really like awkwardly fringe decks that Jeskai is not equipped to beat, which makes this very awkward. I'm gonna go ahead and so again, I think they have Thing in the Ice in their deck, but I'm gonna cut one of those paths. I'm gonna cut an Electrolyze. Probably gonna cut like 2 Lightning Bolts, 2 Helixes, and bring in. Yeah, I mean, Helix gains us life, but if we're at that point, we're probably not doing so hot. Although there could be the argument that Helix is just better than Bolt. That the life gain is just better. Okay, let's run it back. We might actually have to be worried about something like Blood Moon in Game 2 here. Excuse me. Sounds about right. Alright, well, it's got lands and spells. That is second blue I need to hold up Logic Knot on turn 2. Geist, yes. Yes, please. Geist is one way we can try to close this game out pretty quick. It would be interesting to see if our opponent goes for the Pyromancer's Ascension on turn 2. We're obviously going to shock in the Steam Vents here. Again, putting ourselves to 16, not free against this deck is what it looks like. I wonder if our opponent is playing Dispels. Ooh, Tarn is. I think I'm going to wait one turn on the Geist to be able to hold it up with Dispel backup. Alright, there's a Pyromancer's Ascension. Down the drain. I have to imagine my opponent is playing Dispel, which means that we can fight over a Pyromancer's Ascension next turn. Possibly. Sleight of hand, sure. I think I have to play Geist of Saint Traft next turn. Don't think I have a choice. So we do have a Dispel here. Is that good enough? It's no Spell Snare. Oh, my opponent could play a Bedlam Reveler here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like they're getting... Alright, well, there's a Pyromancer's Ascension. And things are going to probably get a bit out of control here. Alright, not yet. No out of control yet, so that's good. Basic lands, not good. Or any lands are not good. Alright, we're putting a clock on our opponent here, and that's what's important. We have a couple counter spells in hand to maybe counter a few key spells. I wonder what my opponent is sitting on right now. Maybe this is the turn that they go off? Could have another Pyromancer's Ascension. Bedlam Reveler, yeah, I think I'm going to counter that, right? So let's go ahead and actually let's use this because we already have our basic planes in hand. We'll get an island. Let's just get 2 islands, right? At this point. Just to be safe in case they play Simian Spirit Guides or Rituals. Alright. How many Dispels you got for me? My opponent concedes. Wow. I was not drawing well. I was not drawing well. Interesting concession from my opponent there. Okay, well, don't think we can really play it any differently here, right? EE on 2 blows up the Ascension. Hopefully we draw Celestial Purges to answer those Ascensions pretty well. Geist of Saint Traft is great in our opener, but no Geist. But this is actually a pretty good hand too. 3 lands, one of which can help us cast Celestial Purge. We could arguably have led on Steam Vents tapped here. I don't know if it's worth bluffing the Spell Snare in our deck. I'll go ahead and fetch here. No shadow of doubt, thank goodness. Let's go ahead and exit that out. Island. Island means we don't have to shock ourselves. And I'm okay playing a bit of Drago here. I think, while both of us have good tempo elements, I think in general we might be the better tempo deck. They have remands, we have flash creatures. Okay. I think I'm better off Vendilion clicking end of turn. I don't think there's anything like worthwhile for my opponent's hand here that I can't answer on my turn. Okay, looks like they want to maybe play Pyromancer's Ascension with Remand backup. If they want to remand this, I'm okay with that. Ooh, you don't want to do it in response, opponent, if you have a removal spell. Sure. So we lost our Spell Queller. That's okay. We'll go ahead and Celestial Purge the Ascension on our turn. That way we don't lose any counterfights over it. I do think this is worth fighting over here. If they have a Bedlam Reveler here, I will obviously feel pretty bad, but that will be their whole turn, essentially. And if they don't have a Reveler, then we can, if they have like another Ascension, we can just snap. But by the speed that they played out that land, I've got, okay, Thing in the Ice, okay. It's a pretty good card. Pretty good Magic card. I do think we want to click them on their draw step here. I do think there are cards they could draw here that would be really unfortunate for us. Remand. I guess that's pretty good. Anamorphose? Okay. Anamorphose in response. Guess it's arguably free for them, depending on what they draw. Could remand my click. Another Manamorphose, okay. It's getting a little scary here, guys. We have chump blockers, and we have, Alright, they have the remand. And we have Path to Exiles in our decks, so wow. No flips, huh? Got some time to draw out of this. Thing in the Ice is definitely pretty strong here. Wow, we drew the Path to Exile. Oh my gosh. I wonder if I need to fight over this right now, actually. So we could go Snap Logic Knot, and I don't want them to have too much counter magic available. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to go ahead and fight over this right now. This very second. That was the perfect draw. Hopefully they don't have another piece of counter magic here. One, two, three, 4x equals 2. Don't dispel me, bro. And we even get our Snapcaster Mage back. Oh my gosh. That's fantastic. Of course, our opponent could still be in this game with the likes of a Bedlam Reveler, which we can't defend ourselves from because we have this Vendilion Click in hand. Because we didn't... Ooh. What? And our opponent's deck is just attacking from so many different angles. This is actually really cool to watch. I mean, we have the Snap Purge, but I think we probably want to... Oh god, they have the Reveler too? Jeez, opponent. Have mercy. That's crazy. Alright. We're definitely behind. We are behind. We have the Snap Purge on the Pyromancer. We can chump block the Bedlam Reveler for a little bit. But we are behind. Opponent had the nuts. Pyromancer's Ascension. Celestial Purge. I think I want to go ahead and fire that off right now. What are the chances my opponent has a counterspell in their hand? Okay, have they played any Serum Visions yet? No, I think it's worth bottoming one of them. Played their Delta. They cracked their Delta, get an island. Cast one of their Serum Visions here. Thing in the Ice, okay. Now they cast the Serum Visions, sure. Bedlam Reveler grows a bit. They get to... Whoops, excuse me, guys. My bad. I meant to click that to see how my opponent was going to scry this turn. We're going to get smacked for potentially quite a bit of damage this turn. Now we have the Snap Path, Snap Purge for their 2 threats. They went top-bottom with their scry. Thought Scour. Jeez. Oh, all right. Cross our fingers here that they didn't draw anything too nutty. All right. Looks like their blind draw wasn't that great. Hopefully. Question is, do we chump the Elemental here? I think we do. I know that's awkward, but I think we do. Jeez, another Path to Exile, huh? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We use Field of Ruin. We get a Plains. Yeah, we're kind of stuck on white mana here, huh? I think we want to do things on my opponent's upkeep, though. Is this a horror? Yeah, so this doesn't bounce. So the reason I want to path the Bedlam Reveler is because it's the one that for sure gets in for damage this turn. And it also doesn't take any work to deal me damage, right? It's just a 3/4. This, my opponent needs to have both 2 instants and sorceries in their hand right now. But looks like they're cracking a fetch. God, if they drew a Bedlam Reveler, I am going to scream. Alright, that's a sleight of hand. Alright, did they find action? I wish the top two cards in my deck were always as good as my opponent's. Jeez. Yeah. Do your thing. I guess pathing the horror might have been better. I guess we might have to chump with Snapcaster Mage here. Opponent attacks with the horror. Let's go ahead and get another white source. Sure. Do your thing, buddy. Yeah. Maybe if they mill all their lightning bolts, then we don't die. Speak of the devil. Alright. Guess that's not bad. Is it worth chumping here, though? Now that I think about it, I think it's gotta be, right? Unfortunately, we don't play any Supreme Verdicts or any cards like that. Okay. Again, not dead here. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and Snapcaster Mage, Path to Exile the Awakened Horror right now. If my opponent runs out of win conditions, this might be a reasonable game. They do have Noxious Revivals, though, and we saw those. Opt, yeah, sure. Go ahead and draw, like, your whole deck. They'll be down to 10 cards in their library. I mean, obviously they don't have to keep drawing cards, but let's see, their graveyard is chock full of goodies. Let's see, how many Bedlam Revelers have we answered? We've answered one Reveler, 2 Thing in the Ice. I think my opponent has a decent amount of stuff to do here. Pyromancer, I mean, we'll fight over that, I guess. We're sitting in 6 cards in hand. Our opponent, 0. Our opponent has 6. Remand. Sure. Is this a May ability? You make copy that spell. Yeah. So this is why I didn't do the double block on the Bedlam Reveler, because it was pretty clear that they'll have some spell to play. Now, I don't want to say we're deterministically dead, because we're not, but we're close. Opponent's deck is doing everything that it wants to do, while ours is stumbling to answer it. And that's the best position to be. Obviously, I'm not just going to concede just in case my opponent does something wild here. Another Pyromancer's Ascension, sure. Yeah. What, did they have like a grape shot or something? Seems to me like this is a bit win more for my opponent here, and it's only like risking things, drawing extra cards, but this might be leading into something. Like an Elixir of Immortality or something like that. That would be pretty nuts. That's down to 5 cards in hand. Casting the Serum Visions? I don't understand. I mean, I can chump for a little bit, right? Maybe they just want to get the perfect kill. Obviously, I'm going to give my opponent the opportunity to make some mistakes here. But I have a hard time imagining my opponent doesn't see what they're doing. Maybe they're looking for the lightning bolts. They didn't realize they binned them all. Or maybe they have Noxious Revival. Large question mark here. Were they like Lab Maniac? Like, I mean, the Serum Visions puts the last card in their deck into their hand. I mean, they have to have Noxious Revival plus a draw spell here. There's just no way. What? What is my opponent doing? Okay, they're putting Serum Visions on the stack, holding priority, Noxious Revival for light. I was rooting for my opponent here. I really was. There's also another possible scenario here, is that either they misplayed, they didn't see what was going on, they were digging for their lightning bolts that they didn't find, and they weren't looking at their deck, number of cards left in their deck, or, which is what I think is a more likely scenario, is that they were maybe already X-3 in this competitive league, and they decided to give me a free win in this game 3. I didn't get any message from my opponent regarding that, but either way, it could be one of the two cases. It's hard for us to know, but we're going to take the win here, and brush it off and go into round 4 with a 2-1 record. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for the 4th match coming up soon.